Were you doing like top-down links, or did you have any other kind of like tactics?
The first strategy would just be like, I was consistently falling on one section. And so I would like really, really analyze how I was doing that section. And then I tried a ton of different betas in that section, even though I'd already done it, or like I could already do the moves there in ISO. And it was helpful that I was trying with other people too, because they were like, that section's like maybe the red point crux, like getting into the stand. So they were trying a bunch of other stuff there too. So we kind of like all were iterating on it, even though I was like giving goes from the ground, I was still kind of trying to be creative there. And ultimately ended up just going with my original beta. But I always try to think about like why I'm falling. And I feel like this is actually something that like sport climbers are good at. Like you're giving a go from the ground, but you're like consistently falling like right on this move. So you need to make that move easier. Instead of just like having the one go where everything comes together. Like you could just get it done now if you change something. So yeah, just like really trying to like make adjustments in that very particular section. And then also doing overlapping or like doing links into that section from lower down. And one thing that I've been doing recently is I have this thing called a Starlink, which is like named after the Elon Musk Wi-Fi satellite system. But I was saying Starlink before Starlink was a thing. So
you and Keenan are trendsetters just through and through.
Yeah. And it's just so obvious. It's like, oh yeah, that's the Starlink.
I love it.
Yeah. And so that's like my link that if I can do that, then I know I can do the boulder. And for me, that was like kind of like one move coming into the jump move and then to the top. So I had done the jump move to the top and I wanted to do like one more move into it and then go to the top. So that's basically starting like 3 moves in.
Okay.
And when my bottom goes were not good, like when I was regressing on my bottom goes, then I would try to do my Starlink. Basically.
When did you do the Starlink in relation to when you sent?
I actually think I never did the true Starlink, but the day that I went up there, if I hadn't done it that day, I would have tried to do the Starlink, and I think I would have done it that day. But I would do the like next Starlink, which is like the jump into the top. I probably did that my 5th or 6th session.
Is the jump the last move getting into the stand?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said that, you really took a lot of time to try to understand why you were falling on that move. What did you come up with? What was it about that move that felt especially hard for you?
When you come from the ground, you catch the right hand hold, or at least I catch it in 3-finger drag, or the right hand, like the start hold of the stand. You get it with your right hand, like in 3-finger drag. And then you have to readjust it to like at least half crimp. I feel like Daniel doesn't full crimp it, but I had to full crimp it to do the stand. And if you don't do like this wrist adjustment, like I was coming from it this way, and then you have to get your wrist all the way over here, basically. Like from like side pull to Gaston.
I see.
Yeah. And if you can't get that adjustment right, then it's really hard to do the stand. So I was trying to like either do like kind of this, like a bunch of micro adjustments, and then ultimately realized like I could just get really good at doing the like fast adjustment. So I would just be on the ground, like flipping my wrist around a lot. And then also there's a move where you campus in to the left hand on this like start or the stand start rail after you've done this flip. And I originally wasn't campusing in because I don't like to campus. And then started or like on my like 6th or 7th session, tried campusing in because that's what most people do, and realized that it was like actually just way more efficient, and my hips move less when I campus in. So then the right hand doesn't like adjust as much. Like it's like I can do my adjustment and it'll just stay instead of like moving around a lot.
Hey friends, I'm interrupting my own video to tell you guys about follow-up episodes. So the video that you're watching right now is from a follow-up episode that I did on the podcast, which means that the full version is only available for patrons who support the podcast for $5 per month or more. You can become a patron by going to patreon.com/thenuggetclimbing. There's a link right there in the description for this video. Again, $5 per month, super quick and easy to sign up, and you can cancel at any time, no questions asked. All right, enjoy the rest of the video. I'm curious about your kind of strategy. Like you said you're not much of a planner, and this kind of forced you to have to plan out a little bit more. It makes sense. I imagine you can't just go try this thing day on, day off like you might with some other project. What did your kind of more global strategy look like? Were you doing like some, days in the gym training to give your legs a longer rest between sessions, or were you just resting more fully between sessions? What did that look like?
Yeah, I pretty much didn't climb in the gym from like mid-May to early September. And was doing a lot of resting. So I think I only went up to Box twice in June because the walk was really bad with the snow. And it's just not that fun to be up there when it's super snowy. And then that was I didn't go enough times. So in July, I went about like once per week. I don't think I ever went more frequently than 7 days in between. And then I would, and mostly just because of, I feel like my legs would feel like recovered enough to do the walk after like 4 days, but then my skin took another few days. Just like I wanted to go up there with perfect skin, and then my fingers were also like sort of recovering. So I felt like going up there more than once a week was not productive. And then I would do like Lincoln days, which I was trying something like Lincoln Lake. So I was trying something pretty close to the road. So it was like pretty minimal hiking. And also like, I feel like when you're doing the box hike, your legs are in good enough shape that a Lincoln hike like feels pretty easy. So those were kind of like my non-box climbing and hiking rest days, where I would just like climb on stuff that was not kind of like getting my fingers as bad or getting my skin as bad as box. So like definitely 1 or 2 rest days. I never go 2 days on anymore. So 1 or 2 rest days in between each climbing day, and 2 rest days usually before I went up to box.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, it sounds like you would have a box day and then have rest days in between, but have like 2 other climbing sessions before you would rest and then go back to box. Something like that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.